innovative technology that harnesses waste produced from piglet trains to nourish agricultural activities and vertical gardens. The last experience, and also quite memorable, was here in Douala, Cameroon in April 2021, where I got to understand the composition of frequently littered waste items in emerging economies around the world. So, trash is referred to by many words depending on what part of the world you occupy. These words consist of waste, litter, refuse, rubbish, and many, many more. For the purpose of this talk, I'm going to refer to trash as waste, as referring to it in this way will allow me to connect various realms of thought. Waste in the built environment is produced in residential, commercial, and industrial areas in varying quantities, compositions, and frequencies. By designing suitable policies and implementing them, as well as enforcing them, we can reduce the amount of municipal solid waste that is generated in the built environment, all these areas that I've described. So, there are three main types of municipal solid waste to explain. There is non-recyclable, recyclable, and organics. Non-recyclable waste consists of crisp packets, cling film, cartons, wet cardboard, and plastic carrier bags, as well as numerous other products. Recycled waste mainly consists of plastic bottles, metal cans, dry paper, dry cardboard, and glass jars. And lastly, organic waste consists of landscape waste, food waste, and garden waste. By strategically harnessing the collection and processing of the three main types of municipal solid waste, we can improve the environment, the economy, and the society. More broadly speaking, there are 5 areas that new policies should target to prevent municipal solid waste from adversely impacting our environment. By doing so, we can improve our environment, our economy, and society. So further in this talk, I'm going to discuss 5 areas of policy that we can harness and utilize to achieve this goal. The first area, in fact, is the policy to govern the design of residential, commercial buildings and master plans. The design stage is a pivotal stage in the structure's life cycle. By designing structures to have adequate waste management infrastructure and strategy provides a solid foundation towards achieving better waste management standards. This can be done by harnessing suitable policies, implementing them in the right way, enforcing them, as well as monitoring them over the long term. One tool that can be used to do so regarding waste management in the built environment is an operational waste management strategy. An operational waste management strategy is an example of international best practice, as well as it covers everything regarding waste management and its operations within the built environment in question. More specifically, an operational waste management strategy states how much waste is generated in said building or master plan. It also details how waste is segregated, moved through, and collected from the proposed development, as well as other specialist features about operations. My suggestion here is that Kisumu County and other counties around Kenya should not permit for planning permission in buildings and master plans that do not submit a coherent operational waste management strategy. The natural environment and the economy will benefit massively if this stance is adopted. Moreover, there will be a more pleasant and a more attractive buildings and master plans for citizens to live in Kisumu, making buildings much sought after. Furthermore, it will provide a more stable and a desirable real estate market, making buildings and master plans in Kisumu sought after by local investors and foreign investors. The next policy I'm going to discuss is the policy to govern waste collection from proposed developments in this region. Here it's important for specific Kisumu County, as well as other counties, to develop standards and instruction on bin types and their specifications that can be situated within said buildings and master plans, holistically the built environment. What's more is that the county, as well as other organisations, should state the specifications for vehicle types that can collect waste from these said developments. In doing so, a demand for the bin type, the vehicle type, and associated equipment will be generated, providing an opportunity for the private sector to capitalize on and create jobs to supply and manufacture said goods to satisfy the demand. In addition to this, a tax system is important for residents and commercial entities to pay into. This will ensure the repair and maintenance for the bin types that I mentioned, for the vehicle types that I've discussed, as well as the associated equipment in between. Furthermore, the tax system and the revenue generated should be put towards the labour that will be required to create these aforementioned equipment that I mentioned. Furthermore, the labour required will be able to collect waste from the said development and dispose them in certified waste processing facilities. So the third policy I'm going to discuss that will be approved on and implemented as well as monitored is policies to govern waste processing facilities in the region. Waste processing is vital, and there's two different products that can be generated from waste processing facilities that are designed smartly. These two products consist of recyclable products that can be sold in the global market, and number two, processed outputs that can be used for potentially agricultural industries. So what could be done here? Kisumu County could potentially create a regional waste management strategy that looks at elements of population growth as well as subsequently waste generation growth amongst a numerous array of other variables and metrics. By applying methods of economic analysis, strategic locations for these waste processing facilities can be situated within different areas of the county. What's more is that a tax system will have to be implemented in terms of disposing waste from the private sector into these waste processing facilities. This will be paid by the private sector or the public sector regarding waste collection and transporting the waste from the built environment to the waste processing facilities for further processing and refinement to their final products. Furthermore, the tax revenue generated should be put towards the maintenance and repair of the waste processing facilities, as well as the labour required to operate them. And another huge benefit for developing these waste processing facilities locally is that jobs will be created for the local people as they will be required to operate said facilities. The next policy I'm going to discuss in this presentation is policy to govern the quality of imported product packaging into the country, as well as the region of Kisumu. Starting off here, the amount of money that the entity can sell collected, bulked up, recyclable materials from its local market to international markets is highly dependent on their fundamental collective quality. By applying these policies and this policy specifically to product packaging producers, we can instill certain control measures on the quality of recyclable materials floating throughout the county. If we maintain a high value of product packaging materials, we can then garner a higher amount to be paid for these recyclable materials from the international markets. The benefit to this is that more money will be generated in the private and public sector, and most importantly, will filter through the hands of citizens here. So the last policy I'm going to discuss is the policy to govern the sale of recyclable materials and process outputs from recycling and treatment facilities. It's very important for the public sector to create an enabling environment for the sale of these materials. One way that the public sector could do this is via various diplomatic missions abroad through its various embassies. Public sector servants could meet with interested buyers of different recyclable materials, the ones that I stated earlier in this talk, and generate an awareness and a demand for these products in international global markets. Once this demand is generated, the public sector should permit the private sector to sell and transport these goods to international markets. The reason for this is that the private sector doesn't have as much bureaucracy as public sector institutions, and can be much more flexible and move faster in what is a dynamic global recyclables market. An example of processing facilities, just to touch upon this, that would be suitable for Kisumu County and comparable places are in fact operational waste transfer stations, organic treatment facilities, as well as materials recycling facilities. In making Trash My Treasure, I've been able to experience a vibrant career. It's been able to allow me to experience a multitude of perspectives. These perspectives include policy, operations, infrastructure, as well as across several markets and geographies. It's enabled me to see the vivid opportunities available in Kisumu that can revolutionize the region for its people and all those who frequent it. If you too can make trash your treasure, we together can make Kisumu, Kenya, and the world a better place, socio-economically and environmentally. Thank you.